Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes today, hitting dingers, getting listeners back again with yet another podcast of the 2022 Brewers season. It feels so good to be back talking baseball. There's news, there's things going on. We're not just stuck in this perennial position of just trying to figure this all out. So we've got some stuff to talk about. Just really going to scratch the surface some more, cover some more bases. I did post the Willy Adames and Colton Wong signing video. So if you want to go back to the YouTube links, if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, you can go right back to YouTube and watch it. It should be linked up somewhere in the video there or down below. With that being said, we're moving right along into the podcast today. There's a lot going on, so a lot of MLB news and trades and things like that. Some of the big free agents are off the board. Chris Bryant, Kershaw, the Correa still remains. Freddie Freeman still remains. There's guys out there that remain, but nobody really nobody up the Brewers' alley. Schwarber got signed, so that was a potential. We did add a free agent and hit and miss with this one. I mean, I think it's definitely one that's going to be a piece that we could use, and he's going to be good for us. But Andrew McCutchen is definitely not the splash in the pan that we all hoped it would be. So, that being said, Andrew McCutchen has been officially, you know how the Brewers are, they don't really announce things until they're final. It's all sources and rumors, and we don't have a confirmed deal until it's pretty much finalized. So right now we're at that point where he was announced today, and it was confirmed, and Stearns was out there talking about him and things like that. He was an all-star. He played in Pittsburgh for years. He was the thorn in the Brewers' side for years in Miller Park. So he comes to us at a time where, he's aged. He's going to be a veteran presence in the clubhouse, which is going to be nice. We do have a lot of young people in there outside of Cain. So I think that he'll bring something interesting in that fact. I'd like to see more of what's going to happen here. I'm going to hold my opinion. It's going to be on the reserve until further notice. My initial reaction was this is an unnecessary move. If you follow the Facebook page, Miller Park Minute and the Milwaukee Brewers, I said this is an unnecessary move, and I didn't really see why. It makes sense as a DH move. They just didn't want to spend the money on other DHs there, and that makes sense to me. I mean, I'm not gonna nail them for that. I mean, I know they're never gonna go out and sign all the big expensive players. I mean, Schwarber got one heck of a deal. So that being said, we'll move right along here. We re-signed Boxberger, another bullpen arm, which is a good thing. That was kind of expected. I mean, I expect we're going to get more bullpen arms. I don't think we're done with bullpen arms at this juncture in the postseason. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? Sean Doolittle signed today. There's been other players that have signed. The next piece that I am going to talk about, and I think this fell under the radar after everything happened with the postseason lockout, and we're not going to talk too much about the postseason lockout, obviously, but two new catchers that signed this year. Obviously, we all know Manny Pena departed to go to the Braves. Good luck at the Braves, Manny Pena. But we signed Pedro Severino and Brett Sullivan. Pedro Severino is appearing to be the guy, the backup catcher guy. There was an interview today on Adam McKelvey's page with Pedro talking about just trying to interview him, and Navarez was kind of intervening, which was kind of funny. So if you get a chance, go watch that. Go check that out. He was an Oriole primary catcher for 2021 season. He hit 248, 308, and 383. 11 homers, and 379 at-bats. So, again, that was with the Orioles. So, the Orioles are the perennial team that's always eliminated. So, who knows? Who knows what he's going to be. Brett Sullivan, on the other hand, is 28 as well. He was previously in Tampa Bay. His most recent numbers with winter ball, he had 273, 360, and 364 with 0 home runs. So he looks like he's going to be the third in line on the depth chart from what I see. Just he's played a lot of minor league ball. He hasn't really had any major league call-ups of any significance. So one note on Narvaez, though, he was always, remember when we first got him and we signed him, he was noted as a poor defensive catcher, and that was the main fault of him. Well, with us, he's actually rated for one of the top in framing. So that was an interesting note from the article. Good to see that working with these young pitchers, he's gotten that time. Sullivan actually got some opportunity to work with Hader and Burns while they were waiting for the lockout to finish up. They have the same. All three of them have the same agent, and he was in communication with them that he was working out at Notre Dame. So they came over and worked out with him. So that's good. I mean, he's getting some experience with our guys. Hopefully we'll see. I don't really know if there's a battle per se at this moment for that final spot, but we'll definitely see what happens there. Cain did arrive at camp. He was a little bit delayed with some family matters. You know, Cain's kind of at that point where he's putting family first, and you know, we can respect and appreciate Cain in that manner, but at the same time, obviously, he's aged and he's slower to get going. So, Council said he should be only a few days behind the rest of the players, so that's good. There was an interesting Adam McCalvy interview with Cain today that did say could potentially be his last year. We're entering the final year of his deal with us, and that's sad at the same time. I mean, Cain's a good player for us, and he shows up and he puts in the work. I know a lot of people want to get rid of him at this point, but I think he's already stated, and he stated this in an interview with me, that he just wants to finish out his career here. So if he just plays this last year and this is his last year, he's happy with it. He's content. He's done what he came to do. And that's great. He's helped us contend. So that being said, I mean, how can you fault the guy for that? Just, I don't know, potential last year. I like the player. I mean, you know, he was good with the Royals, and he came in the Yelich night, I should call that, when we announced the trade and everything like that, and it was like, whoa, you know, so it was very exciting. But yeah, it's sad. I already mentioned MCcutchen, Devin Williams. So right now they're basically in the point where they're talking to every guy. If you haven't seen on the Instagram stories, Adam McCalvy's tweets, they've talked to every single player. So they're interviewing guys almost ad nauseum here. So these are just news and notes of the interviews really that's come out. There's nothing really much to report because we haven't seen any game actions. They're just doing interleague scrimmages and stuff like that. Like Josh Hader got to pitch today. Woody and I believe Corbin Burns. So they all are working live BPs and starting to get into the swing of things. With only 18 games of spring training, they've got to get moving fast, and it seems like they're very busy at work. And most of these guys already have been down in Arizona working themselves. Obviously, we mentioned that earlier. Devin Williams says he's grown as a person. The note here, though, this one's kind of the exciting thing to me. You see these one-pitch relievers like your Devin Williams, your Josh Hader, and you worry, how long is it going to be before they get figured out? You know, are they going to start to figure out that change-up? And we did see shades of that with Devin Williams, I think his changeup definitely was at a point where they were starting to get on it a little bit, and he had some streaky moments here in the last 2021 season. But he is working on a potential slider cutter. Not a ton of details, but he seems to be pretty enthused about it. Especially for a guy that primarily throws a changeup, to see a slider or a cutter added gives him more depth. A one-pitch pitcher does not last long. If he didn't make this adjustment or make this add, I think we would not be talking very positively about Devin Williams this season. So the big story today, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. I have held off on my predictions video because I wanted to see who else we slotted in at this juncture. I figured there'd be a bevy of moves, which there has been. I mean, if you're just a baseball person in general, like I am, or like anybody, like any aggressive fan or anything like that, there's been so much content, so much to pay attention to, and like it's getting to the point where it's like a fury, where we're not really sure who's going where and what's going. Like I'm forgetting moves that have happened. Oh, Sean Doolittle. There's another one I forgot. There's so many moves that are happening day in and day out right now because of the limited time that we have to get ready for a season. So we're seeing a lot of stuff, just rapid fire trades. There's a fire sale going on in Cincinnati that we didn't know about. Amir Garrett's gone. Sonny Gray's gone. Jesse Winker, Suarez. Ugh, crazy. And to see what these players go for in trade is it's amazing in its own way. It's something totally unbelievable that you wouldn't expect. And I thought we were supposed to be limiting tanking. That's doesn't seem to be the case. It's not like the Orioles or Pirates have gotten aggressive, albeit the Pirates did sign Daniel Vogelbach, so that is what it is. I mean, unfortunately, that's not a good move for him, but for them, he's a nice piece. I didn't mind Daniel Vogelbach. I wish they would have got him to return, but hopefully they have bigger plans at first base. I think we're all hoping they have bigger plans at first base. We saw a lot of movement in the first base market, so just saying, there's a guy out there. There's a guy out there that would be awesome as a Brewer. I don't think we have the money, but it'd be really cool to see him. So, next part I'm going to talk about is Fangraphs predictions. And let me tell you, I am blown away. Like, I read this tonight, and yeah, tonight was the first time I got in on this. It might have been out longer than today. I don't really know. But they've got the Milwaukee Brewers at 90 wins and 71 losses. That's pretty well standing pat. Last year... Oh, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. But yeah, last year we had a great season and won the division, obviously. So, chance is of the winning the division are 73%. So, 73% chance of us repeating winning the division. I think the Cubs have got a little more competitive. Oh, they've made some moves. Yeah, that's the other big stuff. The Cubs have made some moves. They got the Japanese guy. They also, are still in on the Correa market from what I understand. They're also, I don't think they're done. I don't know. It's weird, and I think they're going to be sneaky competitive this year, and I don't even want to know. And St. Louis, we don't know if St. Louis is still in the market on any of these big free agents or what they're going to do. So that being said, stay tuned, guys. There's a lot going on in the NL Central. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and that's kind of why I'm holding out, because I want to see what everybody else does before I drop the big bomb, and then all of a sudden, Freddie Freeman goes to Chicago. Heaven forbid that happen, but you know what I mean. Like something crazy happens, and then I'm like, ooh, I should have already thought those numbers. Yeah, 34% chance of us clinching a bye. A first-round bye in the playoffs. With the new system, the additional teams, we could clinch a first-round bye, which would be awesome. But it's a very slim chance is what they're giving us. 85% chance of making the playoffs. So with the expanded playoffs, obviously we have a very good chance to be in the postseason. I could have told you that before I even read these numbers. But I think with the pitching rotation that we have, we still have some talent in the field. We just need to, and I was talking about this with a gentleman today. We just need to have everything fire at the right time. The later that we clinch, the better. I'd love to have a commanding lead over our division. But at the same time, I think that hurt us last year, and I think that's why we just lost all momentum going into the playoffs. And then they give us, this is cool, a 6.9% chance of winning the World Series. Woo! Right home about that one. I think like the Dodgers were at like a 14% chance. So I mean, it's not a solid, like, there's a pretty decent curve. We're in the top though. We are. I'm just clicking on it real quick. We're in the top 7. We're number 7 according to Fangraphs. So I mean that's pretty solid. That's a good place to be. I can't complain about that. The other things that we're seeing here now is these are just kind of the stories of the league and stories of what's going on. Are we done adding at this point? Give me your opinion on that. Dude, what do you think we need? I, at this juncture, think that we could add a more name piece to the bullpen. I know they're David Stearns & Co. is very good at striking lightning in a bottle and finding these obscure guys that aren't off of another team, don't have any name recognition. Kenley Jansen's out there. I can't think of any other free agent relievers at this time, but that's okay. Then my other one ad I would say is, we just have that unknown first base, and I would love to see just a long-term first baseman that might be available on the market, but selfish want versus what we actually are going to have happen, I don't know. Otherwise, I feel like we've got a pretty complete team. We've got a lot of returning players. The big thing here right now, obviously, and this has happened now multiple times over to Tyrone Taylor, and it's kind of sad, like Tyrone Taylor's come up, he's played well in injuries and absences, and now he's at a juncture where, again, we sign another outfielder. Typical Stearns fashion, and this is a Stearns move. We've done this year after year where we've had 4 outfielders and 4 extra infielders and things like that. I mean, last year going into the season we had Urias and we had Orlando, and then we had Shaw, and so we've had a loaded infield, we've had a loaded outfield. We've had a lot of position players, but, is Tyrone Taylor really getting a raw deal here? I feel he is. I feel he deserves the opportunity to play. He's shown us some great things, some great at-bats, and anytime he comes to the plate and, games in a position, he manages to get a knock. So he keeps us in these games, and that's huge. Another news note, or I guess news and notes. Luis Urias says he's in the best shape of his life. I am not surprised. Guy got some good time to work out this offseason, and he definitely wanted to improve upon where he started last year. I think we're going to see a more solid year all the way around. for Urias. I think that's going to be very exciting for him, and I think he knows he's got a place now. So I think we'll see him develop in a different way, and just exciting stuff for these young guys. Another full season of Willy Adames this season. What can he do in a full year for us? Confident that he's got a job. I think that's another one to watch for. Boring stuff that I find absolutely just nauseating. And I save this for the end because I think it's going to garner some hate. So if you've listened all the way to this point, you get to hear my boring news of the day. Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich talks about how last year was a learning experience and yada yada. And Christian Yelich is one of those guys that when he gets up there or gets a microphone in his face, he does not have that star power. He does not have that. Ryan Braun always seems so smooth. You get a Freddie Peralta on the microphone. You get even Corbin Burns right now, with the attention he's getting, is really polished and really confident. And I think Hader is the same way. It takes the confidence in your abilities as a ball player, as a professional, to go out there and just put it on the line. And he seems so ho-hum and so depressing every time he comes on. And I'm like, God, we're paying this guy how much money? It's sad in a way. It's very sad. And I want a guy with some star power, some panache, some, just grit. It would have... I said this to a friend this offseason, and I really meant it. I wanted to see Christian Yelich go into the offseason and do like the pitching lab like Corbin Burns did, where he comes back and he's just jacked and huge and, smacking balls like there's nobody's business. But I don't feel that Christian really went into that. I feel Christian's kind of gotten to that. I got paid, and I got paid, like he's not working. And I'm just going to say this because I know there's going to be some, you don't think he works? No, I'm saying Christian Yelich works out. Christian Yelich is a player in the majors. Of course, he works out and plays and practices and does all that in his off season. What I am saying is there is the normal level of work, and then there's the next level. I think Christian Yelich is at the normal level, no next level, because he already got paid for his big season. So before you hate on me, before you jump on me and saying, he obviously works out, no. What I am saying is I don't think he put in the work to get better. I don't think he saw a problem and made big changes. I could be wrong. I would love to hear it from him himself. I would love to see it on the field, and I hope to God he proves me wrong this year. But that's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you again for tuning in, whether it be on the podcast platform or YouTube. We are both places: Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Go join in the conversation on Facebook. Drop a comment. Remember to rate the podcast, of course. Thank you guys for being here. As always, go Brewers, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.